Hello friends, my name is Matty Cook and I'm the Chief Program Officer here at Camp Korey in Mount Vernon, Washington. I'm so happy that you join us today. We're going to learn a little bit more about Camp Korey through the coming videos that you get to see. There's 2 short videos. One is an interview with our founder, Korey Rose, who recently sat down with me to talk about the genesis of the idea, the inspiration, and the work that it's taken to make Camp Korey a reality. The second video that you'll see is just an extraordinary piece called We Are Camp Korey, and that's made by our campers and our families to tell you a little bit about their personal experience. So sit back and relax, enjoy the interview with Tim, and then we'll get into the camper video. Tim, I'm really thankful to be able to sit down with you today. As a new guy at Camp Korey, I'm continuing to learn so much, even though we met over 15 years ago now, when you were originally thinking about starting Camp Korey. Can you tell me about that time you were thinking about the original inspiration for Camp Korey? And I'm just curious, like, what was that for you?
You know, when Korey was first diagnosed with cancer and we began treatments at Children's Hospital, my family didn't have a lot of experience in hospitals. Of course, regular childhood illnesses, the flu and that kind of thing, but nothing like, you know, had been able to prepare for spending a couple of years at Children's Hospital. So fortunately, you know, we lived within 50 miles of Children's Hospital, so we didn't have to move on campus. Korey was able to come and go when he wasn't in treatment or having operations, which was almost filled the full 2 years. So, you know, really didn't quite know what to expect.
Can you tell us a little bit about Korey, about his personality? What lingers in Camp Korey that you would tie back to his spirit?
He was just happy-go-lucky. He was one of those kids that you'd look at him and just go, this kid really doesn't have a care in the world. He was never moody. He was always there to make a joke. He loved to imitate. You know, and I remember one time when the family was together and he was about 14 and he imitated almost every member of the family, right down to their accents, to their sayings that they did. And it was hilarious. I mean, he captured almost every member of the family and, you know, he just enjoyed living.
That definitely lingers in the camp spirit.
It does.
Absolutely. In terms of the original inspiration, we talked a little bit about what it was like for you in experiencing this yourself, but what was it that made you think about turning around with compassion and empathy toward other families that were going through this?
You know, at the time, for the first 6 months that Korey was going through treatment, I never knew that there was such an organization as, you know, the Serious Fun Camps, or Hole in the Wall at the time that it was called. Never, you know, really even realized that there were resources available like that. But, you know, spending day after day at the hospital, the dedication of the doctors, the nurses, the compassion that they have. And I asked the doctors several times, how do you do this? How do you do this day after day after day? And they said, because it's what we do and it's a labor of love. One thing that really inspired me is there was a young boy in Korey's room, maybe 7 years old. And all day long, the nurses were coming in entertaining him, or somebody would try to come in and entertain him, but a good part of the day he was by himself. So I was there one evening and staying the night in Korey's room like we normally did. And about 8:30 that night, his father walks in, had just gotten off a bus from work, rode the bus like an hour away to get to the hospital, came into the room. His son just, of course, lit up and talked to his son, read to his son, crawled in bed with his son, and basically just stayed in bed with him until his son was fast asleep. And then, you know, 6 o'clock in the morning, I hear Dad get up, you know, kiss his son goodbye, and Dad had to go catch the bus to go back to work. And I just thought, wow, that was a big aha moment for me. And then just seeing the kids, you see a young child, 3 or 4 years old, and they're sitting on the base of the IV pole, and mom and dad are wheeling them around the halls, and these kids are just like having IV pole races up and down the hallway, and they're laughing and giggling, and every moment count. I mean, they really, there's toys and game rooms and that kind of stuff, but it was the simplest thing of riding on an IV pole. It brought giggles and joy.
It's childhood.
Yeah, it's childhood, and just let them get out of that moment and be a child, and you'd see the smile on the parent's face, knowing that we're able to bring a little happiness to their child.
With the inspiration, empathy, and the compassion that you had coming through that experience and seeing all that other families were going through at that same time, there were so many things you could have done. Why camp? Why a summer camp or a camp program?
Fortunately for me, after about the first 6 months of treatment, I had the opportunity through my day job to meet with Newman's Own Foundation. And they asked me if they could show me a video that day. And so they showed this video of the original hole-in-the-wall camp in Paul Newman's camps. And of course I started crying during that video, and I think they felt kind of bad. And so I explained to them that, my family and I had been going through this for a while, and I just knew from that day forward. And then I had the opportunity to meet Paul and understand him as a person and meet his family, and just unbelievable what a great guy he was, and what compassion, and everybody thinks of him as this major star, and he was just a great guy. Within a month of Korey passing away, I started going and visiting all of the other existing hole-in-the-wall camps because I wanted to see what they were like. And I knew as soon as I started doing that I wanted to bring a camp to the Pacific Northwest. And I love Children's Hospital. I know that teaming with Children's Hospital and the children of the Pacific Northwest in the Seattle market is just such a great area for outdoors and just everything that the Northwest has to offer, that I knew right away I wanted to bring a camp. And I started looking immediately.
Hi everybody, Matty Cook here again. The interview with Tim Rose left me inspired and with a deep appreciation for those values that were demonstrated through the beginning of this. It was the empathy from the personal experience that Tim and his family had. It was the compassion to turn around and to do something for folks who they know are going through some real life hardship, and to bring them some joy and some relief in those moments. If you really want to know what Camp Korey is like, take a look at what our families and our kids get to do while they're here as a family weekend or as an individual camper during the summer. So without further ado, here's the real stars of the show, our families and our campers. Thank you again.
Camp Korey means lots of things to me. It's a fun camp that makes you believe that you can just do anything that you put your mind to. And I feel brave and strong, and I feel like camp always is there for me even when I'm not at camp.
Christine and I didn't have that growing up, didn't have something like Camp Korey, so it's really exciting for us to have that for Grace as she emerges and evolves.
All those amazing people, from the time we walked in to the time I picked her up, that just took their time and took time out of their summer to be with these kids and make them just have a great time.
Well, I was very happy that I got to come here again and see all my friends and see all the counselors.
The counselors were all so sweet. They're like, don't cry, this isn't a sad place. And I said, I'm not crying because I'm sad. I'm crying because I'm so grateful.
You make friends and you have fun, and I feel happy, like I can just be myself at Camp Korey.
My family has been a part of Camp Korey for 6 years through their family weekends. Get to meet other families with complex medical issues.
It was a lot of fun because I got to meet other siblings who have siblings like my brother, Carson.
Everything up here is designed and orchestrated to let them feel just like kids.
We're not different. We're part of the same thing, and we show pride that we are a part of Camp Korey.
In an ideal world, in a perfect world, so many more kids will get to come experience this because it's extraordinary.
All the funds and all the money collected affects kids here in Camp Korey. Anything that can make it stronger and better is only going to make the kids stronger and better.
And hopefully more kids can become a part of Camp Korey and say, I am Camp Korey.
We are Camp Korey! We are Camp Korey!
We are Camp Korey!
Wow. The inspiration that you get from watching our families and our kids interact at camp that's it. That's what we do. You could see it in their faces. You could hear it in how Grace described her experience of coming to camp and finding strength beyond camp in her life outside of camp. It's really a powerful mission. There's an opportunity for you to be part of that mission because, as we mentioned in the interview, it takes more than magic. And it takes a whole lot of people and their love and their care and their empathy and their compassion to make this all work. And so if you're inspired to help, we thank you. Our website is very simple to get on, www.campkorey.org. You can click on the donate button and you can help give us the resources to carry this programming to more and more kids over the coming years. Thanks so much. Warm fuzzies to you. Bye-bye.